Have you ever heard of the woman who could outdrink, outshoot, and outcuss any man in the Wild West? A woman so tough, she carried a shotgun under her apron and had a standing bet she could knock a man out with a single punch? This isn't a character from a movie. This is the true story of Mary Fields, better known as Stagecoach Mary, the first African-American woman to become a star route mail carrier for the United States Post Office. Her life is a testament to resilience, courage, and defying every single expectation of her time. Born into slavery in Tennessee around 1832, Mary's early life is shrouded in the painful anonymity of that era. We don't know much for certain until after the Civil War. Once emancipated, she didn't just survive. She blazed a trail. She worked on riverboats, did laundry, and eventually found her way to Toledo, Ohio. There, she entered the service of the Ursuline convent, where her life took a pivotal turn. She wasn't just a servant. She was a force of nature. She managed the convent's supplies, did heavy construction work, and was fiercely protective of the nuns. Her boss, if you could call her that, was Mother Amadeus, a woman who would become a lifelong friend. When Mother Amadeus was sent to Montana Territory to establish a school for Native American girls, the harsh frontier conditions nearly broke her health. Hearing of her friend's plight, Mary, now in her 50s, packed her bags and headed west. This was the 1880s, and a solo journey for a black woman into the heart of Montana was incredibly dangerous. But danger rarely deterred Mary Fields. She arrived at St. Peter's Mission near Cascade, Montana, and immediately took charge. At over 6 feet tall and weighing around 200 pounds, she was an imposing figure. She hauled freight, did stonework, chopped wood, and managed the mission's chicken coop. She was known for her short temper and her love of a good cigar and a glass of whiskey. Her tough exterior and traditionally masculine habits didn't always sit well with everyone at the mission. Reports say she got into more than one gunfight. After one too many complaints and a rumored duel with a disgruntled male subordinate, the bishop ordered her to leave the convent. Now nearly 60 years old and cast out, many would have given up. Not Mary. She moved into the nearby town of Cascade. She tried running an eatery, but her generous spirit was her downfall. She'd feed anyone who was hungry, whether they could pay or not, and her business quickly failed. But her reputation for being tough as nails and absolutely reliable had spread. And that's when opportunity knocked from the most unlikely of places, the United States Post Office. In 1895, the job of a star route mail carrier opened up. This wasn't a city mailman job. This was delivering mail through the rugged, unforgiving Montana wilderness. The route was treacherous, filled with bandits, wolves, and extreme weather. It was a job for the toughest men, and Mary, at 60 years old, applied. She won the contract because she was the fastest applicant to hitch a team of 6 horses. She became only the second woman and the very first African-American woman to hold such a position. This is where her legend was truly forged. Twice a week, for 8 years, she made the journey. She drove her mail coach with a team of horses and a mule named Moses. She armed herself with a rifle and a revolver, often tucked under her apron. She never missed a day. When heavy snows made the path impassable for her wagon, she'd strap the mail bags to her shoulders and continue on foot, sometimes for miles, using snowshoes. She faced down blizzards, floods, and would-be thieves, always ensuring the mail got through. The locals adored her. She was a trusted, reliable part of their community. Her nickname, Stagecoach Mary, became a symbol of her dependability and grit. When she retired from the mail route in her early 70s, her adventures were far from over. She settled in Cascade and opened a laundry business from her home. She was a beloved local celebrity. Because women weren't allowed in saloons at the time, the mayor of Cascade made a special exception for Mary. She could drink with the men, and she often did, sharing stories and cigars. She was the town's unofficial babysitter, and it is said that she was the only woman allowed to join the local men's baseball team, becoming their mascot and biggest fan. When her home and laundry business burned down in 1912, the entire town came together and rebuilt it for her, free of charge. That's how much she meant to them. Mary Fields lived her life entirely on her own terms. In an era when both her race and her gender placed severe restrictions on her freedom, she refused to be confined. She was a walking contradiction to the stereotypes of her time, a deeply religious woman who loved a good fistfight, a nurturing caregiver who could stare down a wolf, a former slave who became a federal employee and a local hero. She passed away in 1914 at around 82 years old. Her funeral was one of the largest the town of Cascade had ever seen. People from all walks of life came to pay their respects to the unforgettable woman who had delivered their mail and captured their hearts. Stagecoach Mary's story is more than just a fascinating piece of Wild West history. It's a powerful reminder that courage, determination, and an unbreakable spirit can overcome even the most daunting obstacles. She wasn't just tough. She was resilient. She wasn't just a character. She was a complex human being who built a life of significance and respect against all odds. Her legacy isn't just in the mail she delivered, but in the barriers she shattered along the way. Thank you for watching. If you found Mary's story as inspiring as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of incredible people from history.